All right, everyone, what's going on? It's Dave Mormon here, home service business coach, and I want to roll out for you today a keynote that I actually did recently at a trade convention of home service business owners. And this is something that I love to teach because I've done it, and we've also helped numerous of our members inside our program at Home Service Business Coach achieve that freedom and achieve that lifestyle from their business. So this is my keynote. I like to keep things super practical, not get too, pie in the sky, but keep things really relevant, really practical and on point. So let's just go ahead and dive in. This is going to be the presentation of mine on the 5 steps to building a $100,000 a month washing business. Here's the kicker: that's able to run without you. Okay. There's enough entrepreneurs in the world, hustle 80 hours a week, grind it out, don't take time off. I'm not actually that type of entrepreneur. I'm way more system oriented. Let's build something once. Let's build it well. Let's hire an incredible team, build systems, and get the thing running without the owner. Okay. I'm not preaching that this is a 2-hour work week and you never do anything. The business, there's still stresses, there's still fires that need to get put out, there's things that need your leadership 100%. But for you to be the one actively in their day to day doing everything, unnecessary. So I'm going to show you the path forward. So let's just go ahead with the first step in just a second. So who am I? This is myself right here. This is a few years back. This was our second truck we were putting on the road. I had just done $89,000 in my first year. And our next year, we did another truck on the road. We were running seasonally, and we did $155,000 in that second year with basically 2 Astro vans right there. Fast forward here, this is my full-blown team, $100,000 months. You can see our trucks in the background, full-time office manager, full-time sales and service manager, lead technicians, and Dave removing himself from the business. And truthfully, I still oversee our marketing side of things, which I absolutely love. But there's people in the departments, in the rest of the departments of the business. So that's just give you some context there on who I am. And so let's get right into it here with the first step, okay? You want to audit your calendar. I get hugely passionate about this because as I created Home Service Business Coach back in 2020, we've now helped over 300 home service business owners scale up their company. The first thing we instill in our business owners' mindset is getting a handle on their personal calendar, okay? I bet if you looked back whenever you're watching this in the last 1, 2, or 3 months, you probably had a good 50% of your time, I would wager, that was spent doing like $25, maybe $35 an hour tasks in your business, okay? These are the things that hold you back, okay? This is doing the fulfillment of service. So if you have a carpet cleaning business, if you're the one primarily doing the carpet cleaning because you can't find anyone good to do the work, that's $25, $35 an hour task, okay? If you're scheduling your jobs or invoicing your jobs, or calling your customers or driving to go pick up payment, those are all day-to-day tasks of your business that we want to ideally move off your calendar. Okay. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens with an intentional decision to say, cool, I'm actually firing myself this day. I'm going to start making moves to start extracting some of my time back so I can hover and work on this business and build the machine, not be the one playing the game every single rep. Okay. So a lot of owners, they're doing about 30 hours a week of day-to-day activities for $25 to $35 an hour. Okay. So we got to pull out of that because we want to be able to get you some freedom to grow the business. And I'll just share one other tip on this because I get really passionate about this. You want to look at a tactic called time blocking or block scheduling. Okay. There's different departments of your business that need your brain at different parts of the journey, right? So I would look at your calendar today and start saying, hey, I'm in the field right now 4 days a week doing, $200,000 a year. Cool. I'm going to actually, instead of going out for 4 days a week, I'm going to shift that and I'm going to go out 3 days, right? I'm never going to go out on Thursdays anymore, right? Because that's going to be my time to jump on trainings like this, to plan out my week, maybe to actually build a system inside my business, and maybe go have coffee with the local landscaper or the local painting contractor or something that's going to move the needle on growing my business, right? So that discipline to say, block schedule, no, fulfillment, I can do $1,000, $2,000 day, cool. but it's not about doing the work in the day to day. It's actually about building the machine. That's the higher level mission than staying busy doing this stuff. Okay, so just wanted to share that example as we talk about auditing your calendar. All right, so step 2 here. Big one here, okay? You want to set your price book. Most trades business owners, sadly, they're actually undercharging for the work that they do, okay? And if you look at a homeowner that you're providing an estimate for, whatever your service, painting, lawn maintenance, window cleaning, they're probably collecting 2 or 3 more bids from other companies that actually don't know their numbers and they're pricing too cheap. So you come in with an appropriate price and the customer says, why are you twice as much as this next person? Okay, every day at my company right here, Revive, emails in the inbox, right? You're twice as much. Why is that the case, right? It's a thing right now in our industry, unfortunately. Okay, so if you take nothing off this training, take this. Your services should be able to get done without the owner on the job site for about 30% of the project going to the crew, right? Whether you do 1-person crew, 2-person crew, about 30%. And here's the kicker. This needs to include right here, I listed all the burdens, right? So if you're paying additional for Google reviews, which you should be, that's included. If you have to pay for employment insurance or statutory pay or vacation pay or sick pay, all these compensation levels that I need to pay for as a business owner here in Canada, you need to include that in, right? So much so you might pay a technician $24 an hour as we do. It might cost you $30 an hour based on those burdens, right? In which case, hey, my technician here, let's call him Josh. Josh needs to bill out at $100 an hour for his 8-hour day. So if Josh is not doing $800 in window cleaning, if he's only doing $550, we're not going to be running a profitable company. And this is like time blocking, huge mistake. This is a big second mistake. Business owners pay 40, 50, 60% of the job to their crew because they underestimate the other costs inside their business. So really important there, you know, your hourly rate. That hourly rate just needs to be such that your direct labor floats in that 30% range. And trust me, I've consulted companies that have been 20% or lower. That's even better. But a lot of businesses, right, around 30% is kind of like a sweet spot to park it. 25, 30%, somewhere in there. Number 2, low margin services. Okay, just start looking at your projects and start to cost them out, right? A lot of painting contractors could see, hey, these types of jobs, we're too high on paint and labor. We actually don't make a lot of money, right? I had a painting business for 10 years. We did thousands of painting projects. We found our most profitable projects were called exterior trim jobs, right? Where we are here in Canada, there's a lot of houses with vinyl siding. We would soft wash. That's cool. That's great. But there'd be wood trim on the front of the house. And we could do a lot of those wood trim paint jobs for $2,000 to $4,000 and be out in a day or two with our crew. Very low material cost of paint, very easy jobs to produce. And very turnkey type of projects. So we actually made more profit from those jobs than we did, say, painting a whole interior of a house for $20,000. So it's not always about that top line revenue. You want to look at what are the pain in the butt jobs? What are the jobs that the margins are lower on? Run from those jobs and run towards the profitable jobs. And a great way to do this, you close your eyes and say, if I had 1,000 kind of jobs, what would those jobs be, right? And they're typically not the really difficult, complex ones because those are hard jobs to scale up. They're hard to hire people to perform those services. So you want to be a student of your market and you want to learn where's my honey hive of like the sweetest kind of job. So just one thing to think on there. And lastly, on the price book, you got to get into packages, okay? This is a huge one as we move into a new year of a service subscription economy. Customers want to have their thing just dealt with and they want to extract maximum value, right? We all do as humans. So you want to be building out packages that you can cross-sell your other services and end up increasing your average job size. Okay, I'll share an example. My exterior cleaning company, our financial goal is $2,000 a day for our 2-person crew. We'll have some days we'll do 2,500. We'll have other days we do 1,500, right? But an average of about $2,000 a day, that's our sweet spot. So if we're going into an in-person estimate and we're bidding $1,500 for the roof and $1,000 for the house wash, we're at a high end 2,500 bucks all day. I would tell that customer, Mrs. Smith, I can actually take 10% off this, get you down to 2,250 if we can lock it in for next Thursday. Or might even go down to 2,100 bucks, right? Because I know I'm going to hit that 2K day. I know my crew can do it in a day, and I'm going to give that 10% discount. You're actually not losing money. You're building up a higher package that your crew can still produce without having to move the truck additional times. I prefer the business model with fewer truck moves and higher average job sizes. And I'll tell you with packages too, we've seen it directly in my cleaning company. Our average ticket last year was about $850, give or take. This year, rolling into the end of the year, we're at $1,416. So selling in person, selling in packages, absolute game changer for the business. I understand artificial intelligence and virtual coding and all this stuff online. And I love that, right? It's absolutely great. But to replace that human to human connection, don't be lazy and find a way to go get out and see your qualified customers. Okay. We're not going to go out and bid everything that comes in on our telephone line today, but we're going to go out for the good opportunities, meet the customer, provide those packages. Okay. So price book, very important. If you sign off now from this webinar, I think you've got great learning. And you can always check us out for more, homeservicebusinesscoach.com. We only work with the best of the best inside of our mastermind program to scale up companies. So, but for now, I just want to provide this free training for you so that you're like, this is the best, most practical information for my industry, for my mindset. Thank you so much. So if you're watching for free, drop a comment wherever you're watching this and tell me what your biggest takeaway is so far. We'd love to hear from you. So far we got our time locked in. We got our price book set. Dave, let's go on to number 3 here. The office administrator. Okay. This is a huge one. Now you can hire a virtual assistant. Absolutely seen it done. Got no issues with it. If I'm being brutally honest, what I personally prefer is a local office administrator that actually knows your local market. Okay. Now you're going to pay more for this. Yeah. But I personally believe you're going to get someone that knows the area, speaks the local language with the local accent, and is very organized. And ideally, you want to start someone that's just, part-time. If you don't quite have the revenue, right? If you're running a $200,000 window cleaning business, you don't have the margin yet to pay $50,000 to a full-time office salary, someone making 25 bucks an hour, 50 grand a year. Like you just don't have the budget yet. So I would coach that person doing 200 grand. Look at taking about 5 to 7% of that, setting it aside, and that's going to go into administration. Okay. Now, an office administrator is not just, providing invoices and just doing administration. They can go and put jobs on the schedule, right? You see our office manager here making outbound calls, right? They can schedule appointments. They can take all your inbound calls. They can give customers check-in calls. They can do happy calls when the job is done. Check in. Did we get a review? Yes, thank you. When would you like to book this again, right? If an office admin is going to cost you $2,000-3,000 a month, I would be thinking, how could they put 10 or 15 or $20,000 on a monthly schedule? Okay. This is a great way to buy back your time as an owner, but also put jobs on the schedule and put revenue on the board. So someone really organized, someone really bought in with your core values is important. And someone that is local, I've just found for my business has tended to work quite well. So I listed a few of these tasks here on this slide, which I did mention. But also I want to make a note. The office administrator, they can do estimates as well, right? Now I just said go sell in person, and that absolutely. But sometimes customers just want a quick quote for gutter cleaning, right? And they're not interested in roof cleaning or window cleaning, or they just want the gutter cleaning done. Cool. We did it last year, or maybe we didn't. They can go ahead, the office administrator, measure up the house, send the estimate through. Or if you still want to see it as the owner, get them to set up the estimate on the CRM. We use Jobber, and save it as a draft. And then the business owner yourself can jump on later. All these estimates are drafted up. You can just go through and send them out one at a time. Okay. So you want to look at the office administrator because this thing's not getting answered enough. You want to look at ways that how, as a business owner, can I buy back some of my time so I can be in those higher value activities? Okay. The scheduling, the invoicing, the happy calls, the estimates out that are small, all these things need to get done in a business, but it doesn't necessarily need to be the business owner. And there's this famous quote from my mentor. He said, if you do not have an office assistant, you are the assistant. And that's something that's always stuck with me. Whatever business I have, you want to get an office administrator. Okay. Really key point right here. All right, let's go to 4 and 5 because these are getting good. All right, I could go on a lot about this one, but I'll hit the main points. Okay, so we want to build our brand with lead generation. Okay, I made another training. I can maybe link to it here, where we recently did $127,000 in our month, very profitably, 39% net profit. How did we do that? We spent a little over $2,000 on marketing. Okay, minimal paid ads. We built a brand locally. Okay. You can see these brand pictures. These are our 5 rounds. Technicians are in uniforms. We've got signs up right here. We're friendly talking to customers. We're collecting reviews, referrals. People are seeing our trucks. That's how you build a brand that dominates, that you don't have to go crazy spendy towards ads. I get ads are easy to do, right? They're easy to set up. They're hard to make work. And I see most local service businesses, they can get leads on Facebook, yeah, but are those really the highest quality leads, right? A lot of times they're just looking for a $99 price. I'm not saying always, but there's a whole strategy to online ads that I think a lot of business owners just don't have the bandwidth to deal with. So then they'll go hire an agency. They pay $1,000 a month to get leads, yes, but by time you go pay the crew to do the job, get the job done, is it really worth the money, right? For an ads agency, you got to be at least making 5 times your money. I think $1,000 in, book $5,000. If we're doing that, okay, continue. But I just find most business owners are not. So I've made the choice. Let's own our own customers, right? Let's collect their emails. Let's get those reviews on Google. Let's build referral systems, and let's build a brand locally that dominates. Okay. We do most of the revenue in my business in about 30 to 40 affluent neighborhoods inside of our city. We just have our truck bouncing to every third, every fifth house because I'm building this thing for a long term, right? And I want people to know us, they see us, because it's going to take multiple touch points for them to say, all right, I've seen this company revive around enough. I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to get an estimate. So let's do some math here, okay? We're going to work backwards for how many leads you need to do $100,000 in a month, because I want you to conceptually see this in your mind's eye, and then you can see how it's going to be possible, okay? So we're going to take that $1,400 average job size I just told you. Yours may be higher, maybe lower, but for the example, I'm going to need 71 jobs in the month, okay? Just right off the rip, 71 jobs. Cool. I'm going to close at about 50%, okay? I like to coach most companies to close in that 40 to 60% closing range. So at 50%, we're just times this by 2, really easy math. I'm going to need to do 142 estimates, and let's break that down. That's in a month. So that's 36 estimates a week, which means 7 estimates a day. Okay. And this could be yourself, the owner, going out and ripping 7 estimates a day. I personally think 100K a month is, unless you're doing larger ticket jobs for property managers, multifamily, it's going to be difficult for the business owner to do 7 estimates a day. So this would be a business model I would look at having maybe someone part-time. You could do part or full-time, honestly, based on your skill set. But I would say you could go a part-time estimator, maybe 3 days a week to do 7 estimates, 7, 7. And then you, the business owner, maybe do estimates, say on Wednesdays and Fridays, and you go out for 2 days and sell. The other option is the business owner, if this 100K a month, you could literally hire someone full-time to go and sell that, and you could just focus on higher level business activity. So it just depends on cash flow. Some business owners will need to make the wage in their business as a salesperson. That's totally fine. Others may be a little bit more, not risky, but a little more growth oriented. We'll say, let's just put someone in sales because I know I can throttle this thing from 100K to 150 to 200 or whatever the case may be. So we need 7 estimates a day, right? We could go hire someone to help us. We could get someone in the office to maybe do 2 or 3 of those a day. But the reality is we got to get the phone ringing, right? And so this organic marketing, I really believe we've done well in my company, and it's something we really teach in depth in my consulting company, Home Service Business Coach, is teaching how to get your truck wrapped, right? The signs, the flyers, the strategic partnerships are a big one, right? If you're running a window cleaning company and you don't currently know who's doing the landscaping, lawn care, pool cleaning, pressure washing, painting, if you don't have a Rolodex of 5 to 10 really good industry contacts, I think you're screwing up, quite honestly. Like, there's a better way to build a business. Is It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And so I spent years doing coffee meetups on Fridays, jumping over to Starbucks here, meeting local contractors for 40 minutes and getting their business cards and just getting to know them. And when I get to know them, guess what? They get to know me as well. So that's a great one. You can look at minimal cost, couple dollars for a coffee, but a lifetime relationship of referring each other business. And lastly is door knocking. That could be a whole nother hour training. But that's actually how I started my business, was with less than $3,000 and just knocking on doors. And that's something I teach in depth, but it's not the purpose of the session today, but a great one. And I know you're listening right now. Door knocking doesn't work for me. Well, you could build a multi-7-figure business just door knocking, but most business owners are too scared to do it. And that's the reason that it actually works, is because it takes some courage and some balls to actually do it properly. And most business owners just aren't willing to put in that work with that. So that's kind of all I'll say on that. Okay, final piece, very passionate about this one. You guys can tell so far, is re-engaging your past clients. Okay, I call it a past client blitz. If your clients have not heard from you in the last month or two via an email or a text, or even a phone call, I think you're actually missing the boat. We've actually found our customers engaging better over email and text versus phone this last year. So that's one key shift I've seen get made in our market. But you want to have set templates for this, and you want to have short, well-written emails that go to your customers regularly, not bugging them, not always saying buy my stuff, but providing them some value, right? Here's a red hot tip. We go to our customers about 4 to 6 weeks before our busy season hits, and we offer them 5% off, right? Sometimes 10%, early bird discount. Book in your job, I'll take 5% off. We get the deposits coming in, we get some cash flow coming in to bridge through our slow season. And then we know we're ranking good on Google. We get the eyeballs, we get referrals coming when we get really busy. So you want to be smart with this, and you want to give your customers some value, right? I personally don't believe in sending them, newsletters for the local fair or this or that. That's just my style. I want it to the point. Tell me what you can do for me. You got, 10 seconds. I'm reading this thing, because people get bombarded with emails. So I'd say don't overdo it. But we found a sweet spot in our business to be doing quarterly emails. And we're looking at increasing that a little bit more. I've got companies I work with, they'll do monthly emails, but you want to kind of figure out the cadence that you're comfortable with. And also just what your customers really like. If you're seeing unsubscribe rates go through the roof, well, maybe you're overdoing a little bit. So your customers in your local market will be able to tell you like what that proper cadence is for you. I just think the biggest mistake, though, is we go out and do a service, right? You can see here our crew doing some pressure washing on this property, and then we'll just never contact the customer again, right? And they're going to forget about us. Like, literally, as well as you brand, people just aren't going to remember your brand. I think most trade business owners' brands are like not memorable, number one. And number two, like, just if you're running a window cleaning business, on the priority list of a homeowner, like, you're just not very high up, right? They're thinking their health, their work, what their kids are up to, what they're doing on the weekend, how their parents are, their family, their dog, and then like, oh yeah, stuff around the house. Like, it's very forgettable. And so that's no offense to anybody here. It's just the reality, I think, of human nature. So that's how we do it. Okay. It takes multiple seasons. It doesn't take a crazy amount of money, but these are the key things I would say to build into your business infrastructure. And then you just do a great job with service, and you just watch what happens. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I think it's a better mousetrap to build than like throttling money into Meta and Google, and, kind of praying and hoping for the best. Like, build a real brand that people know, like, and trust. Give it a few seasons, put your head down, and watch what happens. And it'll be pretty amazing when you give it some time. All right, last but not least, Technicians. Okay, let's get into hiring. Why I love hiring technicians. One, provides local employment, which I absolutely love. And two, you get a great return on hiring technicians. Okay, I've hired over 150 team members in my home service businesses, pressure washing and painting and Christmas lights. And so you're going to pay a technician $25 an hour for about 2,000 hours a year. So they're going to cost you about 50,000 bucks, but they're going to produce 150K of revenue at least. Some of our technicians do even more than that. And they're going to make your business about $40,000 of profit every single year, right? And that's where it gets incredible is you can have a crew right here, do 300 grand, and you can make, 25, 30% of that in profit. That's a pretty cool business to set up. And not a lot of businesses can make that claim with that amount of ROI. Now, yes, employees get sick and they come in late and they got messy personal lives and things happen and they're hard to recruit and it takes training and all these things. Absolutely. That's why most business owners don't have proper hiring processes. So they end up having, employees that are 5 or 6 out of 10 for quality fits. And your business, I love this quote by Layla Hermosi. The employees in your business, your team members, they'll either make your business one of two options: one, a nightmare, or two, a dream. And it all just depends on the competency of the employee and how well they fit your core values. So if you've listened this far in this presentation, or maybe 20, 25 minutes in, and I just said a buzzword, core values, and you don't have core values, that's a blinking red light. I would do some research and get core values sorted for your company this next month. Okay. It's a huge thing. I did not build my core values until I was 4 years into my pressure washing business, Revive. Once I did, and we added Christmas lights and we started going year round, we learned what values we want our employees to exhibit. Values are just like their character, their behavior. And then we hire for that attitude, that character, because you can't train character. Unfortunately, that's wired in from childhood, but you can train skills, right? I can train someone to put up Christmas lights. I can train somebody to put up a ladder, take down a ladder safety, right? But you can't train somebody hunger, ambition, to be more goal oriented, right? Those are things that are kind of hardwired in, or teach someone to be honest when they're 27 years old, right? Like they kind of got it or they don't. So once that first technician is trained, you're going to need to hire that second and third technician in time. And this depends on if your business model is 1-person or 2-person crews. Pros and cons to each. We personally prefer 2-person crews just for our business, but you want to have some of these things in place before you go hire. Okay. A hiring advertisement, a position agreement. You want to have SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures. Big scary word. Essentially, if you run a window cleaning company, you should have a standard operating procedure, 1 to 2 pages, just how you clean a window, right? Just point form. That's all an SOP is. So don't be scared with that. Job site checklist, really important. Uniforms you can see here, your workers' compensation, so you're all insured, and then your truck properly set up. Okay. So it's not as easy as just going and hiring, Fred today or Lisa today and saying, come join me on site. Like, you want to have some of your ducks in a row. And this goes back all the way to my point number 1 about block scheduling. Most business owners have not pressed pause on their business to build out these items I just mentioned here. And then they go higher and it turns into a dumpster fire. So it all starts in that order with you saying, no, I'm going to build a real business here. I'm tired of having a job where I make 50K a year and I own the business. I want to own a real business that runs like a system that can run independent of me. Well, this is exactly how you do it, right? You want to do 3 things when you really grow your company. You want to build simple systems. I've hit on that multiple times here. 2, you want to build your brand so that you actually have a book of clients that you can remarket to and you're not relying on the search engines of the world. And 3, you want to build up some great people, which having core values and building people and having them in roles in your company, right? So those are like the big 3 things you want to get dialed in if these are pillars of this webinar. Once you have those pillars in, you can roll through these 5 steps. And so to sum up, I got a gift coming for you too here if you did watch this far. To sum up, building a business, you're going to see everyone teaching online. You can come make $500,000 with me, or I'll give you your money back, or all these claims, right? And it's just a very noisy world. I want to say something that's a little bit not very sexy in marketing, right? Building a business is really hard. most entrepreneurs actually fail and don't make it. They run out of money and they don't do this stuff I'm talking about. And building something of success just takes multiple seasons. Okay. I can jump on a training like this and just rattle it off like it's second nature. No one talks about it though. I've done this for 16 years, right? We've done over 5,000 projects, 150 hires. We've done over 7 million bucks in revenue. Built up a great lifestyle for myself. And that's all besides the point. But I'm just showing you that it's going to take time, right? There's no substitute. There's no getting out of hard work. But I think what you can do is go get around people who've done what you want to do. And instead of it taking you 7 years or 8 years, in my case, you could probably do it in 2 or 3, maybe 4, right? You're going to half that time. And it just comes down to a decision of yours saying, do I trust this person? Do they have solid case studies, happy clients, etc.? And if so, I'm going to invest in this program or this thing or do this conference because I want to collapse down my learning time, right? Because you will get to a point in business if you're successful where you're going to value your time more than just making more money, right? And that will tip for you as you get more successful. And so I really hope there was great value on here today. I hope you can tell just, we have people tell us every week, you guys are actually legit and care. You're authentic and you're genuine. And I hope that authenticity showed through in today's training. And, whether you join our coaching program or not, I just hope that you get a lot of value here because it's really on my heart this next decade to change an entire industry of owner operators that want to scale up and build a real business that can run without them. So not the 4-hour work week, but you can certainly collapse time. You can build a great business that's able to run without you, and you can really set up your family for future success, which I think is pretty incredible. And this industry has been so good to me. So I want to provide some value right now. So if you did listen this far, I'm going to leave you a case study right here for a gift. Okay. All you got to do, this is my team's direct phone number right here. Text this number here, 778-697-8961. Literally just say 2 words. Please send, or just say case study, right? Well, our team will know what you're looking for. So I put together this like 6-page PDF guide, year by year, how I grew my company to those $100,000 months. I detail out every single year what our revenue was and what I exactly did. I've had people literally print out this list and cross it out line by line and send it to me saying, this was so extremely helpful for me. Can I pay you for this? Like, no, this is completely free. And this is just a taste of the systems that I create here inside at Home Service Business Coach. So if you want to learn more about us, check us out online. But if you attended here, appreciate you so much and want to just show you as an element of my good faith, a free case study. So go ahead and text case study to this number. And I really wish you well as you continue to grow your company and build something that's really successful for more time freedom and more income. So I appreciate your time and hope you're able to learn a few things and take some notes. So take care, everybody, and we'll be chatting soon.